자, 이번 미국 대학가 반전 시위가 갑자기 일어난 게 아니잖아요. 논쟁은 계속돼 왔죠.
네, 맞습니다. 지난해 10월이었죠. 이스라엘과 하마스 전쟁이 시작된 뒤로 미국 대학가에서는 친이스라엘, 친팔레스타인 논쟁이 격렬하게 진행이 되어 왔습니다. 특히 전쟁이 길어지고요. 팔레스타인 쪽의 피해가 커지면서 이 반유대주의 움직임이 활발해졌고요.
네, 그렇다면 이런 분위기 속에서 시위로 번지게 된 원인은 무엇이었습니까?
네, 이 반유대주의 움직임이 활발해지니까요. 미국 하원이 지난해 말부터 미국의 대학, 그러니까 하버드나 MIT 대학의 총장들을 불러서 일종의 다짐 같은 거를 받았습니다. 반유대주의 확산을 막기 위해서 노력하겠다 이런 거죠.
네.
그래서 그걸 명확하게 약속하지 못한 하버드대 총장 같은 경우는 결국 사퇴까지 하기도 했거든요. 그래서 지난달에는 컬럼비아 대학의 총장이 미 하원에 불려 나왔는데 의원들이 압박 질문을 하니까 좀 강경하게 발언들을 했습니다. 반유대주의는 학교에 발을 붙이지 못할 거다.
네.
반유대주의 표현에도 반대한다. 이걸 막겠다라고 한 건데요.
미국 명문대 총장들은 국회 반유대주의 청문회에 불려가 일종의 충성도 테스트를 받아야 합니다.
Are calls to globalize the Intifada acceptable at Columbia?
So I
Just a yes or no answer, please.
I personally find it unacceptable.
여기에 그 일부 학생들이 반발을 했고요. 총장실 근처에 텐트를 치고 농성에 들어갔는데 대학 측이 경찰에 강제 해산 요청을 했고요. 결국 재학생 100여 명이 경찰에 연행이 됐죠. 이 사건을 계기로 해서 캠퍼스에는 오히려 더 많은 텐트, 시위대 텐트가 들어섰고요. 미국 전역의 다른 대학들로 이 시위가 확산되는 그런 계기가 됐습니다.
네.
또 그 MIT와 UCLA 등 일부 대학에서는 반대편, 그러니까 그 친이스라엘 쪽 학생들이 맞불 시위를 벌이면서요. 일부 충돌을 빚기도 했는데요. 양쪽 시위대의 주장 들어보시겠습니다.
We are confident in what we're here to do, and what we're here to do is speak up for Palestinian liberation. People are dying. This is a genocide that's happening.
Are there to spread hate, aggression, violence against the Jewish people. And I'm here to tell them that us Jews, we will not back down, we will not be afraid, and we will not be silent.
The protests broke out on dozens of college campuses in a matter of weeks. Some observers say they appear too organized and well-funded to be spontaneous. CBN's Chris Mitchell examines who might be playing a role behind the scenes.
Being a Jewish student at the University of Michigan right now, it's definitely a scary and uncomfortable time. There's a lot of anti-Semitism on our campus, and it's extremely unsettling.
Jack Landstein describes what it's becoming like to be a Jewish student at the University of Michigan.
Intifada, Intifada. So it's a lot of chants from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, Intifada, Intifada. Bullhorns going through the school of business, going through the undergraduate library, making it very challenging for students to do work and focus. I sometimes am wary about wearing my Star of David outside of my shirt.
Landstein is not alone.
What they're doing is they're very clearly signaling to Jewish students that they're not welcome on campus, that they're not being protected by the university leaders in a way that they would protect any other group on campus.
Dr. Jay Green, educational policy expert at the Heritage Foundation, tells CBN News he sees clues pointing to a more professional, organized effort behind these protests.
We only get little hints of it, and the hints are that the funders include the Soros Open Society Foundation, the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, and there are also some links to foreign organizations as well. We've seen that people linked to foreign organizations have been involved in trainings, and that there are shared talking points and documents as well. So it's pretty clear that this is an externally funded and organized effort.
Green also finds familiar strategies recurring across the various campuses.
Among the common signs are that they're determined to set up camps so that it's more difficult to remove them, that they never have to leave them. That's one sign. The second sign is that they're setting up in the middle of public spaces within the university so that it is difficult for people to get to and from work, to and from classes without having to go through these protests. So they're effectively shutting down the normal operations of these universities.
Greens also observed a strong Middle East connection.
We've seen people from the Middle East come and provide trainings to them. And the biggest connection that we might identify between the Middle East and these protests is the very large number of Middle East students who are involved in them.
While polls show most Americans don't support the demonstrations, protesters are getting positive reinforcement elsewhere. Iran's foreign ministry condemns reports of protesters being arrested, although the Islamic regime has traditionally arrested, imprisoned, and even killed student protesters within its borders.
The Islamic Republic of Iran's foreign ministry in no way accepts violent and militarized response to students and their demands in Americans' universities. It rejects this approach and deems it concerning. It's necessary that the international community takes notice of this issue.
On social media, Hamas has praised the protest while warning the Biden administration. As this movement is expected to continue, Green expects protests will likely disrupt commencement ceremonies and believes many protesters will expand beyond college campuses to gather in Chicago at the August Democratic National Convention.
The campus protests have the support of many Jewish college students, but many others say that they feel intimidated and unsafe.
Within the hour, the House voted overwhelmingly to pass a measure targeting anti-Semitism on campus.
We need to be able to define anti-Semitism.
The bill, sponsored by Republican Mike Lawler and Democrat Josh Gottheimer, does just that. Their Anti-Semitism Awareness Act directs the U.S. Department of Education to use the definition developed by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance when enforcing federal anti-discrimination laws. Quote, anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred toward Jews. It goes on to define examples of anti-Semitism. Some of the heated rhetoric on college campuses would be included. Colleges that fail to protect Jewish students could face civil rights enforcement. Critics, including Congressman Jerry Nadler, say the bill sweeps too broadly and would chill constitutionally protected free speech, including legitimate criticism of Israel. But others say speech has limits, and some of the rhetoric crosses the line into harassment. This Jewish student at Columbia declined to give his name.
A lot of people come to me, but maybe they don't completely understand what they say. Those people are educated adults who are going to the best institutions in the world. They should know what they say.
The bill still needs to pass the Senate and be signed by President Biden to become law.
They've read the bill. Folks, this is nuts. Okay? This is crazy. Who wrote this bill? Who wrote this bill? Marjorie Taylor Greene just put out some of the text from the bill. Here's what she says, and she shares the text. Anti-Semitism is wrong. Shouldn't be illegal. I'm adding that. So let me just read directly from the quote. Anti-Semitism is wrong, but I will not be voting for the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act of 2023, H.R. 6090. H.R. 6090. It's just getting ridiculous. Today, that could convict Christians of anti-Semitism for believing the gospel says that Jesus was handed over to Herod to be crucified by the Jews. Read the bill text and contemporary examples of anti-Semitism like number 9. They're basically going to say the crucifix is illegal, the gospel is illegal, the New Testament is illegal. Here's reading from the bill. Anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews, but it could just be criticism of Israel, commentary of Israel, disagreeing with Israel, being a Christian. All these things could be anti-Semitism. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, towards Jewish community institutions and religious facilities. I'm sorry, but this is just insane. Look at this. Look at number 2 here. Look at number 2. Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, the economy, the government, or other societal institutions. I mean, folks, this is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. To say, you can't say Jews control the world, and now Jews are going to write legislation and own your Congress and own your media and get laws passed that say that your scripture is illegal. So now Jews are going to prove they don't run your country by controlling your country. I mean, this is crazy. Whatever you think is the case, whether you think it's Jews or Jesuits or the Vatican or white supremacists or Democrats or leftists or George Soros or globalists or the UN or the Chinese, there's one group you're not allowed to criticize, and there's one group now getting bills passed that say you're not allowed to criticize them. And say, if you say Jews rule the world, that's an unfounded conspiracy theory and illegal to say. I mean, give me a break. So I can't tell what's going on here. Is this meant to create anti-Semitism?